And the Cavs trying to get a win at home and dressed for success. We come to you tonight from the shores of Lake Erie as the streets of downtown Cleveland, Ohio are alive with activity. It's time for the NBA, live on 2K Sports. I'm Kevin Harlan alongside Clark Kellogg and Greg Anthony. From the sideline, our Hall of Famer, David Aldridge. DA, take it away.
Thank you, Kevin. We do see NBA teams utilizing more zone defenses. Raptors coach Nick Nurse said, offense changed so drastically, now defense is having to adjust. Lakers' Frank Vogel said when your team is down and looking for a spark.
We see cycles all the time in the NBA for sure, David. Thank you. And here's what the Cavaliers' schedule looks like. On Wednesday, they'll go up against Devin Booker and the Phoenix Suns. Then on Saturday, they'll defend home court against the Orlando Magic. Here are the starters for Brooklyn. They've got Harris. Bruce Brown is out there with Champ. Then there's Griffin. And it's Perry in at the 4 slot. And for Cleveland, the guard set is Garland and Sexton. DeMarcus Cousins out there with Mobley. And it's Okoro in at the 3 spot. Early on here, Greg, we already see some second-year players looking much improved over their rookie seasons.
Yeah, and if you put in the work, you're not guessing as much. You're comfortable now with the speed and physicality of the game. And I know I cut way back on my turnovers at the start of my second year.
You know, he was waived after his second year in the league, guys, but Joe Harris didn't let that stop him. He improved his skills, and he's carving out a nice career for himself.
Now, here's Sexton. He's a guy we see deliver on a nightly basis, averaging about 24.5 points a game. And good that time. Champ's got 5.
And right out of the gates, they are locked and loaded. 3 straight scores early.
Tipped away. Goes up. And he elevates for the slam dunk. Darius Garland did not like that.
He's going to put that one in his scrapbook. Insane dunk.
And now they're starting to rub it in. Build up a lead, and here we go, baby. It is showtime.
And why not? A little salt in the wound. The more plays they make like that, the more they'll have these guys reeling and on the ropes.
And great camera work showing up on the AT&T 5G Slam Cam. And breaking down some numbers here, the hustle stats for the Nets.
Boy, they've really amped up the pressure at the defensive end, guys, and have piled up the steals in the early going.
And also defensively, they've been able to cause some turnovers tonight. And that also builds confidence and gives you momentum. Their play on both ends has been superb. We'll see if they can maintain the momentum.
And, you know, nothing like getting an opponent on the ropes early. You love that if you're on that side of the scoreboard, and they are landing some haymakers now.
Really seizing the momentum of this game, but doing it with a methodical approach.
And, you know, that involves pounding it inside, getting as many points as you can right at the rim. That demoralizes a team.
So timeout call here, the first for Cleveland. They traveled to Brooklyn last time they faced the Nets, and they came away with a win.
And they got the better of this matchup last time with their defensive pressure and the ability to force turnovers.
And that really was the difference. I mean, it requires a ton of energy to play that harassing style. It'll be interesting to see if they can do it again tonight.
Here's Champ following the score by Cleveland, and the basket is good.
And he's off to a phenomenal start here tonight, guys.
He sure is. 7 for 7 already, and he just looks to be on a different level than everybody else right now.
Back to Rubio. And again, Brooklyn running the court in transition. Here's Champ, and it is flushed down with a nice jam.
Displaying intensity right off the opening tip, especially on the offensive end.
Tell you what, forget about easing into the game. They came out with guns blazing.
And this offense is in a perfect rhythm, and you can see how they're finishing their plays.
Boy, this is borderline ridiculous. I mean, every single attempt finding the bottom of the bucket.
Now, here's Rubio. Taking a look at his stats, he's averaging around 7.5 points a game.
My goodness, that was absolutely filthy.
Oh, nasty. This building is stunned. He dug deep, Greg, into his bag of tricks there.
Boy, I'd love to get a replay on that one. Let's keep it handy so we can see it again.
Nice D from Griffin. launches a three, and the Nets another three.
3 points.
And they are starting to pull away here as the shots continue to fall.
Yeah, I agree with you. A big run taking place right now, and it looks to be the beginning of the end.
And here's Rubio. And that's it for the first quarter in what's been a very lopsided game. Nets out in front. Well, we know that Colin Sexton is an efficient scorer. He should.
I feel like I've just been calm
And even though he's more a point guard in stature, Greg Sexton more of a flat-out scorer at that point than he is a facilitator.
Yeah, and Kevin, there's always a place for guys who can put the ball in the basket, especially if they lock in on the defensive end.
Number 2.
And so far through one quarter, it's been a lopsided game. We'll see if that changes here in the second. And guys, the Nets enjoying a nice lead here.
They came in on a mission, razor-sharp offense in that first period.
Yeah, I agree. That was a flawless offensive performance so far. I mean, the shots have been falling. They're making good decisions. It's a nice recipe there.
Setting the floor for the Nets. Mills out there with Champ. Then it's Johnson. Then it's Jordan. And it's Claxton in at the power forward. Okay, well, let's go down to David Aldridge for a report from the sideline.
Thank you, Kevin. After making the finals 4 straight years from 2015 to 2018, there have been some lean years lately for the Cavaliers. Over the last 3 seasons, they've only won a couple more games than they did in a single season, their title season of 2016. Coach J.B. Bickerstaff says the losing is tough on everybody, but I look forward to the journey ahead. Kevin, back to you.
What do they say, D.A.? The journey is the reward. Thanks. There might be more talent at the point guard position now, Greg, than there's ever been in the NBA. But who do you think sits at the top of that list?
I mean, Kevin, there's so many incredible talents. And not that I'm dodging it, but honestly, the beauty is in the eye of the beholder. It depends on what kind of tickles your fancy in terms of the point guard. If it's the ability to shoot and play without it, Steph's at the top of your lead list. But then you get a guy like Chris Paul, who I think is as good as anybody's ever been in the pick and roll. So they're just different ways to approach this thing. And, of course, now I've forgotten 4 or 5 guys that I should have added into this conversation.
And stolen by Jordan. Here's Champ. Again, the Nets for 2.
The assist.
Yeah, a big part of this run here has been their ability to score from mid-range.
Knocked away. Here's Champ. Another one falls for Brooklyn.
Unwilling to let up even for a moment. That's his killer instinct, just fanning the flames.
Yeah, I love the fact he doesn't play the score. He just keeps coming, attack mode. He doesn't know how to step off the gas pedal. Perfect dime drop that time. Nice execution of the bounce pass.
Here's Sexton. Still getting warmed up offensively. No scoring yet from him. Here's Champ. And there's the big-time jam as he slams it right over Cousins.
We know DeAndre Jordan is a shot blocker, but that time he got out and got a steal on the defensive end.
To stop the drought, Brooklyn with the rebound. They come into this one having outplayed the Magic last game.
Yeah, and that one, they just locked it down defensively, challenged shots, and really protected the rim.
Boy, I tell you what, I think you got to really appreciate the grit, getting dirty, staying engaged. That's really what defense is all about.
Talk about execution on the offensive end. They're leaving nothing on the table right now.
Yep, they're starting to stretch this lead out. Too much offense to keep pace with.
Outside Garland, the pass to Nance. Driving to the basket, and Nance slams it in.
And just taking his frustration out on the rim. He ends a huge run by the Nets.
And there's one of the sharpest weapons.
Thank you, David, for that interview, and we'll see you back here after the break.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hey, welcome back to 2K. It's Brooklyn out in front at the half. They are completely in control of the game, leading. And that'll do.
And with with a big gap on the scoreboard, the second half begins with very different goals for these teams. One side trying to mount a comeback, one side trying to protect their lead. What a game we're seeing from Champ.
Well, with a double-double in hand through 2 quarters, you can just imagine what his stat line will look like at the end of this one.
Yeah, he's got that locked-in look in his eyes tonight, and he's not going to start taking it easy. I think he's going to be going hard until that final whistle blows.
Sexton and Okoro are your wingmen. Mobley is out there with DeMarcus Cousins, and it's Garland in a point guard. So that's who's on the floor for the Cavaliers. Sexton the pass to Garland. Cleveland moving the ball around. Okoro shot is off. And here's Brown. He'll bring it up for the Nets. They'll be off to Boston for a meeting with the Celtics after this one. That will conclude their brief 2-game road trip. They've been a little too casual with the ball out there.
Yeah, but you can't force that square peg into the round hole. Oftentimes you just